I know from the A&E documentary that he was conservative and he pissed off a lot of people, especially the LGBTQ. But in this one, he had a Mel Gibson moment where in one of his blogs, he talked about black kids. Alright, so I'm going to have a different kind of energy for this review because for the A&E Ultimate Warrior documentary, I was amped up. I imitated the Warrior. I was fanboying out. I was a big fan of the Ultimate Warrior. First time seeing him in a long time, so I geeked the fuck out. Sue me. This Vice documentary now, from what I heard, the A&E documentary was not supposed to drop till a little bit later, but I guess because they wanted to beat Vice with the Dark Side of the Ring, they wanted to beat them putting it out, so they said, okay, we're gonna beat them by a few days so they can watch our shit first. Man, that's some shady shit. So, off rip, the two documentaries are very similar. Now, with the Dark Side of the Ring, I was expecting for them to go more in depth, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I thought it was going to be a hit piece, to be honest with you. I thought they were going to bury the Warrior in this shit because Dark Side of the Ring, they don't pull any punches. They tell it how it is, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be good or bad, they're going to tell it. And anybody that knows Ultimate Warrior and watched any wrestling shoot knows that he was not loved in the business. Like, nobody liked the guy. Probably Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon and maybe a handful of others, but for the most part, Warrior was hated because he was a douche. So, this documentary, The Dark Side of the Ring, now it's called Becoming Warrior, I thought it was fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gave the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, they didn't try to bury the man. They just told it how it was. So, the difference between this and the A&E documentary was, of course, this one was a little bit shorter, but this is just told from the perspective of his ex-wife, who he was married to from 82 to like 92, I think. So it's told from the perspective of the ex-wife, so it's basically her story. And then you got Jim Cornette on there, which, you know, Jim Cornette, we all know how he feels about the Warrior, and Jim Ross and Jake the Snake Roberts. Now, the Jake the Snake Roberts bit I thought was very interesting because it really showed how much of an asshole that the Warrior was. But the good thing about it is they showed also that they reconciled later on right before he died. You know what I mean? But the way Warrior did Jake the Snake was like crazy because I didn't know that Jake was going to get a title run. Like Vince was going to give him a big title run, a push or whatever, a feud with the Warrior to make more money than he's ever made in the business. Now, Jake has already been popular, but he was always a mid-carder. You know what I'm saying? Now, he's going to be like put into the spotlight, okay, as a top-tier guy. And the only thing is Vince said for him to do this is he has to get permission from the Warrior first. So Jake had to go to the Warrior, you know, hat in hands, you know, bend the knee. Excuse me, sir, is it okay if I work with you? And Jake said when he got into the Warrior's dressing room, because he had his own private dressing room, said Warrior got right in his face and was like, look, I don't give a shit about you. I don't care about your family. I don't care about wrestling. I'm just trying to do my shit. So don't miss a show. Don't fuck this up. If you do, you're done. I'm going to end you. And Jake was like, this piece of shit. And they never even got a chance to do it because before Jake could get his run, Warrior got fired by Vince McMahon because, as you know, we all know the story. They covered this too in the A&E documentary that Warrior pulled, you know, put a gun to his head figuratively, like, hey, give me this much money up front or I ain't wrestling. And Vince, you know, gave him his money and whatever, but as soon as the match was done with, he fired him. And then so he looked at Jake like, you must have the worst luck of anybody I know because the shit's done now. And Jake hated Warrior for that for years. But like I said before he died, you know, they reconciled. So this documentary really, besides that, it really gave no fresh takes on the Warrior. You know, this is stuff that we've already kind of known, but just told from different perspectives, like I said. So, I mean, it was alright. Like, it was nothing special. I think the A&E documentary is more of a love letter to the fans, you know what I'm saying, to the fans of the Warrior, whereas the Dark Side of the Ring just is more factual, you know, I guess. But at the same time, it just doesn't offer anything special, nothing that we didn't know. But I will say another thing that I did spot that I didn't know about the Warrior was that his racism. Now, I know from the A&E documentary that he was conservative and he pissed off a lot of people, especially the LGBTQ. But in this one, he had a Mel Gibson moment where in one of his blogs he talked about black kids. Yeah, he was saying that black kids, you know, kids of black skin are savages and animals, and you know they're just very bad people. And he said, I'm not trying to be racist. That's just what I call it. He said, if it was white people doing it, I would say the same thing. And I'm like, Warrior, no. But, you know, 8 times out of 10, if you have a white conservative, they're not too fond of black people. It's just, that's why I don't fuck with conservatives. And that's why it's kind of funny when you see black conservatives, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not really made for the black race, if you ask me. But yeah, not to get all political here, but yeah, Warrior, I mean, from what they said about him in these documentaries, he was kind of a piece of shit. He was not a pleasant person to be around, but before he died, he made amends. He became a different person. So who knows what kind of person he would have been if he would have lived. You know what I mean? He probably would have been a completely changed person like Shawn Michaels. You know, Shawn Michaels, which is also a good documentary. I don't know why I didn't review that one. I guess because I really wasn't a fan of Shawn Michaels. But the same thing. Shawn Michaels was an asshole. He was a jerk, and he turned his life around, and now people love him. You know, he's a respected person now. And Warrior probably could have been that had he not died. But prior to that, yeah, there's not a lot of good things said about the guy. You know, but he's a human being, you know, with flaws like everybody else, but probably even more flaws. And you have to respect him, though, because as bad as a person that his peers said he was, this guy was a once-in-a-lifetime attraction. Like, to go from not really knowing the business and not having any kind of skills in the wrestling ring to get on top that fast, to get that push that fast, that's unheard of. And I can understand why guys hated on him, because some guys work their whole lives to get to a point where they can't make money in the business. And here it is, he just comes out of nowhere, doesn't give a shit about the business, and he's the top star of the world. So you can understand the hate that comes with it. And of course, you get an ego after that also, because it's like, okay, I'm the guy, like, I'm not good at this shit, but I'm better than every single one of you. And he was smelling his own piss, even with his ex-wife. And, you know, that really caused their divorce. You know, so yeah, Jim Hellwig, the man, probably was not very nice. You know, never meet your heroes. But as the Ultimate Warrior's performer, that was my guy. I love the Warrior. But Jim Hellwig sounded like a piece of shit. And I guess we could leave it at that. So y'all, yeah, Dark Side of the Ring documentary. I mean, check it out if you're a Warrior fan. I think you might dig it. But both documentaries were good. I prefer the A&E one just because it's more of a love letter to the fans. You know, that's my take on it. So anyways, have you seen the documentary? Comment freely below. Let me know what you thought about it. What did you think about the Ultimate Warrior? Was he one of your favorites, or were you more Team Hogan, or who was your guy at the time? Comment freely below. Thank you all for watching. If you like it, did the content, hit that like and subscribe notification bell in the corner. Almost forgot to say that. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.